Welcome back to Doomsday Aftermath. Consider subscribing this channel and let's begin the story. I'm gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles are white and I can see every tendon standing out like cables under the skin. The old Forest Service truck bounces over roots and rocks on what used to be a logging road about 15 years back before we shut it down. Trees have grown across it in places. Saplings I have to crush under the tires. The radio is still going even though the last actual broadcast was maybe 20 minutes ago. And now it's just that emergency tone drilling into my skull. 3 days ago I was writing up a citation for some asshole from Medford who thought he could take a chainsaw to old-growth cedar on protected land. 3 days ago, the biggest problem in my life was whether Karen in the main office was ever going to approve my request for a new pair of boots, because mine have holes in both soles that let water in whenever I cross a creek. 3 days ago, I ate a turkey sandwich at my desk and complained about gas prices. The truck hits a bigger rock than I expected, and my head smacks the roof. I taste blood from where I bit my tongue. The supplies in the back shift and something glass breaks. Probably the extra lamp oil. I can smell it now, that sharp kerosene stink mixing with pine sap, and the mustiness of the emergency blankets I grabbed from the supply closet at the ranger station. My name is Derek Paulson, 38 years old, been with the Forest Service for 14 years now. And I've spent approximately 7 of those years preparing for something exactly like this without really believing it would happen. My ex-wife Melanie used to call it my obsession. She'd roll her eyes when I'd spend weekends driving up to the shelter instead of going to her sister's barbecues or watching football with her dad. Said I was paranoid. Said I was wasting time and money on a fantasy. Well, the radio switches back to the emergency broadcast. It's automated. The same words over and over. Shelter in place. Do not attempt to leave urban areas. Avoid contact with infected individuals. Wait for further instructions from emergency services. The woman's voice is calm and measured and completely fucking useless because I heard the live broadcasts before they cut off. And I know that emergency services aren't coming. I know what's happening in Portland and Eugene and Salem. I know because the last actual human voice on the radio was some DJ at a rock station in Portland who was crying and describing what he could see from the studio window before something hit the door hard enough that the microphone picked it up. And then there was screaming and wet sounds, and the feed died. That was 2 hours ago. I switched between channels for a while. Found a few people still broadcasting. A guy in Bend who was reading Bible verses in a shaky voice. A woman somewhere closer, I couldn't tell where, who was just listing the names of her family members over and over like a prayer. Mom, Dad, Susan, Jeremy, little Marcus, the dog Pepper, please, please, please. Then silence, then static. I turn the radio off. My hands are shaking. The road gets steeper. I have to shift down to second gear and the engine whines. The truck is a 2003 Chevy, government issue, beat to hell. But it's got 4-wheel drive, and right now, that's all that matters. I took it without signing it out. Didn't matter. Jerry, who usually manages the motor pool, wasn't at the station. Nobody was. I'd driven back from the north sector where I'd been doing a survey of the watershed when I started seeing the smoke. Big columns of it rising up from the direction of Roseburg. Then my phone started blowing up with emergency alerts. Then the radio went crazy. Then I got to the station and it was empty except for Linda's purse still sitting on her desk with her phone buzzing inside it, over and over, someone calling. And I grabbed what I could and left. Should have gone by my apartment. Should have grabbed my photo albums, my grandfather's watch, the quilt my grandmother made. Didn't. Couldn't. The apartment is in town. Town is where people are where the infection is, I heard what it does. I heard the descriptions before the broadcasts cut out. Biting. Blood. People who were dead getting back up. Moving wrong, making sounds that aren't human. I've seen a lot of dead animals in my time as a ranger. Deer hit by cars, elk that fell off cliffs. A bear once that got into some camper's food and they shot it and left it. Dead things don't move. That's the rule. That's nature. But the reports were saying otherwise, and I could hear it in the voices of the people broadcasting, the ones who were still alive, that they weren't lying, weren't exaggerating. So I pointed the truck north and east, away from population, toward the mountains. Toward the one place I prepared for something exactly like this, even though I never really thought it would be zombies specifically. Nuclear war, maybe. Economic collapse. Environmental disaster. But I'd prepared, and now it's paying off. The shelter is about 40 miles from the ranger station as the crow flies, but closer to 70 on the roads. And not all of those roads are really roads anymore. I built it 11 years ago after a bad breakup with a girlfriend before Melanie, when I was drinking too much and spending every weekend alone in the woods anyway. Started as just a lean-to, then a small cabin. Then I started stocking it. Canned food, water filtration, medical supplies, seeds, tools, solar panels, a good knife, 3 good knives, a rifle and ammunition, more ammunition, books. So many books, because I thought if society collapsed, I'd want something to do besides just survive. Melanie found out about it on our second date, because I'm an idiot who can't keep his mouth shut when he's nervous and trying to impress someone. I told her I had a cabin in the mountains. Made it sound romantic. Thought maybe we'd go up there sometime, spend a weekend, make love under the stars or whatever. She thought it was weird but charming. Then when we got serious and I showed it to her, she realized it wasn't a romantic getaway spot. It was a bunker, and the charm wore off real quick. We got married anyway. Divorced 3 years later. Different reasons mostly, but the shelter was part of it. She said I was planning for an ending instead of building a life. Maybe she was right. Doesn't matter now. The truck lurches over a fallen log I didn't see in time, and I hear more glass breaking in the back. Damn it. I've got probably 300 pounds of supplies back there, everything I could grab from the station and the general store I stopped at on the edge of town. The store was empty too, door wide open, register open and empty. I took canned goods, batteries, medical tape, ibuprofen, 3 boxes of garbage bags, duct tape, zip ties, rope, 2 tarps, a hand crank radio I found behind the counter, and a case of beer, because I figured if I'm going to be alone at the end of the world, I might as well have beer. Beer's probably what broke just now. I can smell it under the lamp oil. The road levels out for a bit, and I can breathe. I'm maybe 2 hours from the shelter now if I don't hit any major obstacles. The elevation here is already around 4,000 feet. The shelter is at 6,200, tucked into a cliff face that's part of a larger formation locals call Devil's Spine because it looks like vertebrae sticking out of the mountain. Getting to it requires driving as far as the old lumber road goes, then hiking the last 3 miles up a trail only I know about because I made it and I've never marked it on any map. The location is perfect. High enough that it's hard to reach. Hidden enough that you wouldn't find it unless you knew exactly where to look. Defensible. There's a natural spring about half a mile away. Plenty of game in the area, or there was, assuming the infection doesn't spread to animals. Christ, I haven't thought about that. What if it spreads to animals? I'm thinking about infected deer, infected bears. When I come around a curve and have to slam on the brakes because there's a car blocking the road. It's a Honda Civic Silver, pulled sideways across both lanes. The driver's door's open. I sit there for a second, engine idling, staring at it. There's no one inside that I can see. No blood. Nothing obviously wrong except that it's sitting here blocking the road and the door is open like someone got out in a hurry. I should back up. I should find another route. But I know these roads, and this is the only one that goes where I need to go without adding 6 hours to the trip. And I don't have 6 hours. It's 4 in the afternoon now. Sun's going to set around 7:30, and I need to be at the shelter before dark because hiking that trail in the dark is a good way to fall off a cliff and die. I grab the tire iron from under the seat. It's heavy and cold. I leave the engine running and get out. The forest is quiet. That's the first thing I notice. It's October. Should be birds everywhere, jays and crows and chickadees. Should be squirrels making noise in the branches. There's nothing. Just wind moving through the pines and the tick of the truck engine cooling. I walk toward the Honda. My boots crunch on gravel. Someone put these rocks here decades ago for the logging crews, and they're still here. Granite mixed with quartz, sparkling a little in the afternoon light coming through the canopy. The car smells like air freshener, one of those tree-shaped ones hanging from the rearview mirror. Vanilla. The interior is clean. There's a coffee cup in the holder, still half full. A phone in the passenger seat, cracked screen, dead. The keys are in the ignition. I reach in and turn it. The engine tries to catch but doesn't. Tries again. Nothing. Out of gas maybe, or the battery's dead. I pop the hood and check. Battery looks fine. I check the gas gauge. Empty. Whoever this was ran out of fuel and left. On foot. Into the woods. I look around. There's no trail here, just dense forest, Douglas fir and cedar, and a thick understory of ferns and salal. If someone went into that, they're either very lost or very desperate, or both. I should call out. See if they need help. But I don't, because what if they're not okay? What if they're infected? What if they hear me and come back and they're not human anymore? I get back in the truck and put it in reverse and back up about 50 yards. Then I pull off the road as far as I can, scraping the passenger side against some manzanita bushes. And I gun it forward. I'm going to go around the Honda through the trees. The truck bounces and crashes through underbrush, branches screaming against the paint, and I'm just hoping I don't hit a stump or a rock big enough to break an axle. The wheel jerks in my hands. Something thumps under the carriage. I keep going, past the Honda, back onto the road on the other side. I stop and look in the rearview mirror. The abandoned car sits there, doors still open, looking lonely. I drive. The road gets worse. In some places, it's barely there anymore. Just 2 faint tracks through the trees where wheels used to go. I'm in 4-wheel drive the whole time now, crawling along at maybe 10 miles an hour. The sun is lower, shadows getting long. I've got maybe 2.5 hours of daylight left. My mind won't stop. It keeps replaying the broadcasts, the descriptions, people biting each other. Someone on the radio said the infection spread through bites, through blood contact, said it took anywhere from a few minutes to an hour for someone to die and come back. Come back wrong. Come back hungry. The word zombie never got used in the official broadcasts, but one of the last civilian radio guys said it plain, said we've got fucking zombies and we need to get out of the cities, and then his broadcast cut off too. Zombies. It sounds stupid. It sounds like a movie. But I heard the panic in the voices. I heard the screaming in the background. I saw the smoke rising from Roseburg. Something is happening. Something bad enough that emergency services collapsed in less than a day. Bad enough that the government broadcast is automated. Bad enough that people are fleeing into the woods and abandoning their cars. I think about Melanie. She lives in Portland now with her new husband, the accountant, in a nice house in the suburbs. I hope she's okay. I hope she got out. I hope a lot of things, but hoping doesn't do much. The road ends. Just like I knew it would, just like it has every time I've come up here. It ends at a small clearing where the logging company used to turn trucks around. There's still old ruts in the dirt, filled with fallen pine needles and moss. I pull the truck as far into the tree line as I can, trying to hide it, though I don't know who I'm hiding it from. Anyone who makes it this far is probably doing the same thing I am. Running. I kill the engine. The silence rushes in. For a minute, I just sit there. My heart is pounding. My shirt is soaked with sweat even though it's maybe 50 degrees outside. I'm here. I made it to the trailhead. Now I just have to hike 3 miles straight up a mountain, carrying as much gear as I can manage, reach the shelter before dark, and then figure out how to survive whatever comes next. Easy. I get out and open the back of the truck. The smell of beer and lamp oil is stronger. 2 bottles of beer broke, and yeah, the lamp oil too, soaked into a bag of rice. That's a loss. I start sorting through what I can carry. I've got a good backpack, a military surplus external frame pack I bought years ago. I start loading it. Canned beans, canned vegetables, canned chicken, a bag of dried lentils that didn't get oil on it, water purification tablets, the hand crank radio, batteries, first aid kit, duct tape, rope, tarp, a hatchet, box of ammunition for the rifle that's already at the shelter, candles, matches in a waterproof container, fire starters, a manual can opener because I almost forgot that once and learned my lesson. The pack is heavy, maybe 60 pounds. I lift it and nearly fall over. Too much. I take out some of the canned goods. I'll have to come back for more supplies later. Multiple trips. The truck will be here. Probably. I'm about to shoulder the pack when I hear it. A sound. Voices. Coming from back down the road. I freeze. The voices are distant but getting closer. I can't make out words, but I can hear the tone. Urgent. Scared. Multiple people. I should wait. I should see if they need help. That's what the old Derek would do. The Derek from 4 days ago who still believed in society and helping people and doing the right thing. But I don't. I grab my pack, shoulder it, grab 2 extra bags of supplies I can carry in my hands, and I head into the woods toward the trail. I move as fast as I can, which isn't very fast with all this weight. The pack straps are already cutting into my shoulders. My lower back is already aching. Behind me, the voices get louder. I hear an engine, another vehicle. I don't look back. I find the trailhead, marked by a cairn of rocks only I would recognize as deliberate, and I start climbing. The trail is steep. I made it that way on purpose. Anyone who tries to follow it would have to really want to, would have to be determined. And most people aren't. Most people would turn back. The first quarter mile gains about 500 feet in elevation, switchbacking up through dense forest. My legs are burning within minutes. The pack feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Sweat is running down my face, stinging my eyes. I can still hear the voices behind me, but they're fainter now. Maybe they stopped at the truck. Maybe they're looking through it. Let them. There's nothing in there that identifies me, nothing that would lead them to the shelter. I made sure of that years ago. No maps, no notes, nothing. I climb. The forest changes as I gain elevation. The Douglas firs give way to more pines, mountain hemlock, true fir. The air gets colder. My breath starts to fog. The bags I'm carrying in my hands are cutting off circulation in my fingers. I have to stop and rest, leaning against a tree, gasping. My heart is hammering. I'm not in as good shape as I thought. Too many years sitting in the truck, doing paperwork, eating vending machine snacks. When I catch my breath, I keep going. The trail levels out for a bit, following a ridgeline. To my left, the ground drops away into a ravine filled with shadows. I can hear water down there, the creek that feeds the spring near the shelter. I'm maybe 1.5 miles in now. Halfway. The sun is touching the tops of the western mountains. Maybe an hour of good light left. I push harder. My thighs are screaming. The pack straps have rubbed raw spots on my shoulders, even through my jacket. I'm fantasizing about water, about sitting down, about taking this weight off. But I don't stop again. Can't. Have to keep moving. The trail gets steeper again. There's a section where I have to use my hands, basically climbing, pulling myself up using roots and rocks. I have to leave the extra bags behind. I'll come back for them tomorrow. I hide them under some ferns off the trail and keep going with just the pack. The trees thin out. I'm above 6,200 feet now, getting close. The terrain here is rockier, exposed granite shelves and scree slopes. The trail follows a narrow ledge along the cliff face. To the right is solid rock going up. To the left is a drop of about 2,000 feet straight down to the valley floor. I've done this hike dozens of times, but never with this much weight, never this tired, never with my hands shaking from adrenaline and fear. I inch along the ledge. Don't look down. Never look down. There, ahead, tucked into a fold in the rock face, invisible unless you know exactly where to look, is the shelter. From a distance, it looks like just a shadow, a natural cave. Up close, you can see the walls I built, the door I installed, the small windows I cut and covered with plexiglass. It's made from the same granite as the cliff. Rocks I hauled up here over the course of 3 summers, fitted together with mortar I carried up in bags. The roof is corrugated metal covered with rocks and moss, so it looks natural from above. Solar panels are hidden on top, angled to catch the southern exposure. It's beautiful. I'm almost crying as I reach the door. My hand is shaking so bad I can barely get the key into the lock. It's a good lock, solid deadbolt, and it turns smooth. The door opens. The smell hits me first. Stale air, dust, mouse droppings. I haven't been up here in about 8 months, not since last spring when I came up to check the solar panels and add more supplies. But it's all still here. The small room, maybe 12 by 16 feet. The wood stove in the corner, the bunk bed against one wall, the shelves packed with supplies, the water barrels, the battery bank for the solar panels, the rifle mounted above the door. Home. I drop the pack and it hits the floor with a thud that echoes. I close the door behind me and throw the deadbolt and just stand there, breathing. I made it. Outside, the light is fading fast. Through the small window, I can see the valley below, the forest stretching out in every direction, dark green turning black in the twilight. Somewhere down there, the world is ending. People are dying. People are coming back. Cities are burning. Up here, for now, I'm safe. I take the rifle down from its mount. It's a Remington 700, bolt action, .308 caliber. I check it. Still clean, still oiled. I load it and set it by the door. Then I light one of the oil lamps I keep here because even though there's a battery bank and lights, I want to save power. In the lamplight, the shelter looks smaller than I remember. There's a thick layer of dust on everything. Mouse droppings on the shelves. I'm going to have to clean. But first I need water. There's about 3 gallons left in one of the barrels from my last trip. I drink straight from it. Long gulps that hurt my throat, cold and tasting faintly of plastic. It's the best thing I've ever tasted. Then I collapse on the lower bunk. The mattress is thin and smells like mildew, but I don't care. I close my eyes. I'm asleep in seconds. I wake up to darkness and silence so complete, it's like being dead. For a second, I don't know where I am. Then it comes back. The shelter, the climb, the end of the world. I check my watch. It's 11 p.m. I slept for about 4 hours. My body aches everywhere. My shoulders are raw. My legs feel like concrete. I light the lamp again and look around. Need to take inventory. Need to figure out what I have, what I need, how long I can last up here. The shelves have canned goods. I start counting. 42 cans of various vegetables, 20 cans of beans, 15 cans of soup, 8 cans of tuna, 6 cans of chicken, 4 jars of peanut butter, 3 jars of jelly, 2 bags of rice, 5 pounds each, 1 bag of dried beans, flour going to be full of weevils probably, sugar, salt, cooking oil, spices, coffee, oh thank God, coffee, 6 bags of freeze-dried camping meals, protein bars, probably stale, water filtration system, pump style, replacement filters, water purification tablets, iodine, medical supplies in a plastic bin, bandages, gauze, medical tape, antibiotic ointment, ibuprofen, aspirin, antacids, anti-diarrheal pills, antihistamines, tweezers, scissors, needle and thread for suturing, medical stapler, tourniquet, splints, ace bandages, thermometer, blood pressure cuff that probably doesn't work anymore. Tools, hatchet, saw, hammer, nails, screws, drill, battery-powered with 2 batteries and a charger that runs off the solar system. Wrenches, pliers, wire cutters, file, whetstone, multi-tool, duct tape, zip ties, rope, paracord, bungee cords, clothing, extra socks, thermal underwear, gloves, hats, rain jacket, wool blankets, books, field guides to edible plants, to tracking, to first aid, a couple novels I've read 3 times each. A Bible, I'm not religious, but my grandmother gave it to me. Journal and pens. Ammunition, 200 rounds of .308. 100 rounds of .22 for the rifle I don't have here because I forgot it at my apartment like an idiot. Seeds in sealed containers. Tomatoes, beans, squash, lettuce, carrots, herbs. For planting in the spring if I'm still here in the spring. Propane camp stove with 3 canisters, cookware, utensils, dishes, water bottles, fishing line and hooks, snares for small game, knife sharpener. It's not enough for long term, but it's something. I can stretch it if I'm careful. Ration everything, hunt and trap. The spring means water isn't an issue. I know which plants in the area are edible. I know where the game trails are. I can survive here. The question is for how long? I make myself eat something even though I'm not hungry. A can of soup, chicken noodle, eaten cold because I don't want to bother with the stove. It tastes like salt and preservatives, and I have to force it down. Then I wrap myself in a wool blanket and sit on the bunk and listen. The silence is incredible. No cars, no planes, no distant sounds of civilization, just wind and the occasional creak of trees settling. Once I hear something moving outside, claws on rock, probably a raccoon or a fox. My hand goes to the rifle, but whatever it is moves on. I think about the people I heard down at the trailhead. I wonder if they're still there. I wonder if they're okay. Part of me feels guilty for not helping, for not even checking. But a bigger part knows I did the right thing. In a crisis, you can't save everyone. You save yourself first. Put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. That's what they say on planes. Still feels wrong, though. I try the hand crank radio. It takes a minute to get enough charge built up. When it crackles to life, I scan through the stations. Static, static, more static. Then a voice, faint, breaking up. Containment has failed. Multiple urban centers, military is establishing, do not approach, shoot on sight. The signal fades. I crank more, get it back. Infection spreads through fluid contact. Death occurs within. Reanimate after extreme danger. Gone again. I keep scanning. Find another voice, different station. If you can hear this, safe zone in. Bring supplies, no infected. The voice cuts off mid-word. I try for 20 minutes but don't find anything else. Either the stations are off the air or I'm too far into the mountains to get a signal. Probably both. I turn the radio off. The lamp is burning low. I should sleep. Going to need energy tomorrow to go back down and get the rest of the supplies from the truck, assuming the truck is still there, assuming whoever I heard didn't find it and take everything. I blow out the lamp and lie down in the darkness. Sleep doesn't come easy. My mind is racing. I keep seeing things when I close my eyes. The empty ranger station, the abandoned Honda, the smoke rising from Roseburg. I keep hearing the screaming from those last radio broadcasts. Somewhere out there, Melanie is either alive or dead or worse. My co-workers from the Forest Service, Jerry and Linda and Dave and Karen, who never approved my boot request. My neighbors in the apartment building, the old couple downstairs who always complained about noise, the single mom across the hall with the 2 kids. The guy at the gas station where I always stopped for coffee on my way to work, I don't even know his name, but he was always friendly, always asked how my day was going. All of them. Gone or changed or running like I am. I must sleep eventually because I wake up to gray light coming through the window and birds singing. The birds are back. That seems like a good sign, like maybe the world isn't completely over. I check my watch. 6 a.m. I've been asleep for about 6 hours in total. I feel like I've been hit by a truck. I force myself up. My legs barely work. The raw spots on my shoulders have scabbed over and the scabs crack when I put my jacket back on. I eat a protein bar that tastes like chocolate-flavored cardboard and drink more water. Then I take the rifle and head back down the trail. The morning is cold and clear. The sky is that deep blue you only get in the mountains. I can see my breath. The trail is easier going down, easier on my legs at least, though I have to be careful not to slip on loose rocks. I reach the spot where I left the bags. They're still there, undisturbed. I pick them up and keep going. When I get close to the clearing where the truck is, I slow down. Move quiet. Listen. Nothing. I come around the last bend, and the clearing opens up. The truck is there. So is another vehicle, a Jeep Wrangler, newer model, pulled up next to it. And there are people. 3 of them. 2 men and a woman. They're going through the back of my truck, pulling out supplies. One of the men is holding a case of the beer that didn't break. The woman has a bag of rice, checking it over. I stand there behind a tree, watching. They haven't seen me. They're talking to each other, but I can't hear what they're saying. Part of me wants to walk out there and confront them. That's my stuff, my supplies. I risked my life getting it here. But I'm one person, and there are 3 of them. And I can see that at least one of the men has a pistol in a holster on his belt. I watch for a few more minutes. They load supplies into the Jeep. Not everything, just the best stuff. The beer, the canned goods that didn't get damaged. Some of the tools. They leave the broken glass, the oil-soaked rice, the stuff that's not worth taking. Then they get in the Jeep and drive away, back down the road the way they came. I wait until I can't hear the engine anymore. Then I wait another 10 minutes. Then I come out from behind the tree and check the truck. They took maybe a third of what was left. Could have been worse. They could have taken the truck itself, though it's almost out of gas, so maybe that's why they didn't. They left some canned goods, the tarps, some rope, batteries, the hand tools. I load everything into the bags I'm carrying and take one more look around. On the seat of the truck, there's a note. Paper torn from a notebook, writing in pen. Sorry for taking your stuff. We needed it. If you come to Ridgeview, there's a group trying to organize. We're at the high school. Bring supplies if you can. Josh. Ridgeview is a small town about 30 miles southwest of here. Population maybe 1,500. The high school is old, built in the 60s. Brick building, big parking lot. Not a terrible place to try to make a stand. I crumple the note and stuff it in my pocket. I'm not going to Ridgeview. Groups of people are targets. Groups of people have politics and disagreements and resource conflicts. Groups of people get loud and attract attention. I'm safer alone. I head back up the trail with the last of the supplies. The hike takes longer this time because I'm tired and the bags are awkward. I have to stop and rest multiple times. But I make it. By the time I reach the shelter, it's almost noon, and I'm completely spent. I spend the afternoon organizing. Everything has a place. Canned goods sorted by type, medical supplies inventoried, tools arranged on the wall using hooks I installed years ago. I sweep out the mouse droppings. Set traps for any mice that are still around. Check the solar panels on the roof, brush off some dirt and pine needles. Check the battery bank. It's at about 60% charge, not bad. The water situation is good. The spring is still flowing, I can hear it from here. I'll need to hike over there tomorrow with containers and fill them. The filtration system works. I test it with some water from the barrel. Food is the concern. I've got maybe 2 months of supplies if I'm careful, 3 if I really stretch it and supplement with foraging and hunting. After that, I'll be dependent on whatever I can catch or gather. The garden seeds won't be any use until spring, and that's assuming I can find a good spot to plant them, assuming the growing season is normal, assuming a lot of things. But 2 months is enough time to figure things out. Enough time to see if there are other survivors, if the government reestablishes control, if things go back to normal. Who am I kidding? Things aren't going back to normal. I eat a can of beans for dinner and boil water for coffee. Real coffee, not instant. Grounds I put in a filter and pour water through. It's the best coffee I've ever had. I sit on the bunk and sip it and watch through the window as the sun sets over the valley. From up here, the world looks peaceful. I can see the forest stretching out forever, dark green and shadowed. I can see mountains in the distance, some with snow on the peaks already. I can see a hawk circling on thermals, hunting. No smoke today. No signs of anything wrong. It's beautiful, and it's a lie, because down there, somewhere in that peaceful-looking forest, there are dead things walking around, looking for people to bite. I finish the coffee and clean the pot and get ready for bed, even though it's only 7 p.m. Not much else to do. No TV, no internet. No phone signal up here even when cell service was working. I light a candle and write in the journal. Day 1 at the shelter. Made it here safely. Lost some supplies to looters, but still have enough for a while. Need to establish a routine. Need to stay focused. Need to not think about everyone I left behind. The candle flickers. Something scratches at the door. I freeze. The scratching continues. Soft, persistent, like something is trying to get in. I grab the rifle and move to the door as quietly as I can. press my ear against it. The scratching stops, then starts again, lower, near the bottom of the door. Not a person. Too low. An animal, maybe. I wait. The scratching continues for another minute, then stops. I hear footsteps, padded feet, moving away across the rock. I look through the small window next to the door, but it's too dark to see anything. Whatever it was, it's gone. I go back to the bunk, but I don't sleep. I lie there with the rifle across my chest and stare at the ceiling and listen to every sound. Somewhere in the night, I hear a scream, distant, echoing up from the valley. Human. It goes on for about 5 seconds, then cuts off. After that, silence. I don't sleep at all. Morning comes slow. I'm exhausted, but I force myself up. Need to establish a routine like I wrote. Routines keep you sane. Routines give structure. I make a plan. Wake up at dawn. Check the perimeter. Fetch water if needed. Eat breakfast. Do maintenance or gather food. Eat lunch. Read or do projects in the afternoon. Eat dinner. Sleep. Simple. Structured. I check the perimeter first. Walk around the shelter looking for signs of anything. I find tracks in a patch of dirt near the spring. Cat tracks. Big ones. Mountain lion, probably. That's what was scratching at the door. They're curious animals. It was probably just investigating. Still, mountain lions can be dangerous if they're hungry enough. I'll need to be careful when I'm outside. The spring is flowing clear and cold. I fill 2 5-gallon containers and haul them back to the shelter. My shoulders scream in protest. The raw spots are worse today. I'm going to have to pad the pack straps better if I'm going to be hauling water regularly. Breakfast is oatmeal made with water on the camp stove. I add some sugar and raisins I find in one of the cans. It's bland but filling. Then I spend the morning checking all the equipment. The wood stove needs cleaning. The chimney needs clearing. I do that, getting covered in soot and ash. The solar panels need better positioning. I adjust the angle. The windows need caulking. There's a draft coming through. I seal it with some caulk I find in the tool bin. Staying busy helps. Keeps my mind off everything else. Around noon, I eat some jerky I find in one of the bags from the truck. It's tough and salty and probably a year old, but it's protein. Then I take the rifle and go hunting. The area around the shelter is full of game. I've seen deer here before, elk occasionally, lots of rabbits and squirrels. Today I'm looking for small game. Don't want to take a deer unless I have to because I can't process that much meat by myself, and I don't have a good way to preserve it yet. I move quiet through the trees, rifle ready. The forest is alive with sound now. Birds everywhere, squirrels chattering, wind in the pines, normal forest sounds. I see a rabbit after about 20 minutes. It's sitting under a bush, nose twitching. I line up the shot. The .308 is overkill for a rabbit, but it's what I have. I aim for the head, squeeze the trigger. The shot echoes like thunder. The rabbit doesn't even know what happened. 1 second it's alive, the next it's just a body. I field dress it right there, gut it and skin it. The meat is lean and red. I'll make a stew. On the way back, I notice something. Crows. Lots of them. They're circling over a spot about half a mile east of the shelter down the slope. Crows circling means carrion. Something dead. I should check it out. But it's getting late and I don't want to be away from the shelter after dark. I head back. Clean the rabbit meat and put it in a pot with water and some canned vegetables and dried herbs. Let it simmer on the stove. The smell fills the shelter, rich and savory. While the stew cooks, I try the radio again. Scan through the channels. Static on most. Then I find something. Music, actual music. Some country song I don't recognize. It plays for about 2 minutes, then cuts off and a voice comes on. This is emergency broadcast station Delta 7. If you're hearing this, you are not alone. We are a group of survivors in the Cascade Mountains establishing a safe zone. We have shelter, supplies, and security. If you can reach us, come to the following coordinates. The voice gives GPS coordinates. I write them down even though I don't have a GPS unit. I can probably figure out the location with a map. We are accepting new people, but you must be uninfected. You will be quarantined for 72 hours before being admitted to the main camp. Do not attempt to force entry. We are armed and will defend ourselves. Bring supplies if you can. We need medical supplies, ammunition, food, and fuel. This message will repeat every 6 hours. Stay safe. Stay human. The music starts again. I listen to the whole message 2 more times to make sure I have the coordinates right. Then I look at the map I have of the area. The coordinates are about 80 miles northeast of here. 3, maybe 4 days on foot through rough terrain, possible but dangerous. Do I want to go? Do I want to join a group? The stew is ready. I eat it slowly, thinking. The meat is tough, but flavorful. The vegetables are mushy but edible. Arguments for going, safety in numbers, access to more resources, human contact, a chance to rebuild something. Arguments against loss of autonomy, resource sharing, politics and group dynamics. The risk that the group might not be what it claims to be. I don't decide tonight. I'll think about it. After dinner, I clean up and then sit on the bunk and read by lamplight. One of the novels, a thriller about a detective hunting a serial killer. It feels absurd now, reading about fictional murder when real death is everywhere. But it's something to do, something to focus on besides the reality outside. I read until my eyes hurt. Then I blow out the lamp and lie in the darkness. The shelter is different at night. The walls seem closer. The silence seems heavier. Every little sound is magnified. The wind, the settling of rocks, my own breathing. I think about the scream I heard last night. Was it someone dying? Someone being attacked? Or just an animal, an owl or a fox? My mind turned it into something human because that's what I'm afraid of. I don't know. I drift off eventually, the rifle still within reach. The next few days fall into a pattern. Wake up, check perimeter, fetch water, eat, hunt or gather, maintain the shelter, eat, read, sleep. Every day the same. I catch another rabbit on day 3, set some snares on day 4, and catch a squirrel on day 5. The meat isn't much, but it supplements the canned goods. I'm eating about 1,500 calories a day, less than I'm used to, but enough to keep my strength up. The weather holds, cold at night, dropping below freezing, but clear and dry during the day. Good weather for being outside. Bad weather for what's happening in the valleys. I listen to the radio every day. The emergency broadcast from Delta 7 keeps repeating. I don't hear any other stations. Either they're off the air or I'm too remote. On day 6, I hike over to where the crows were circling. It takes about an hour to get there, moving carefully through dense underbrush. The smell hits me before I see anything. Sweet and rotten. Death. I find it in a small clearing. A deer. Dead for at least a few days. But it's not just dead. It's been torn apart. The rib cage is cracked open. The organs are gone. Most of the meat is stripped from the bones. Predators, maybe. A bear or a pack of coyotes. But something about it feels wrong. The way the bones are broken. The way the meat is torn. Violent. Excessive. I look around. See tracks. Boots. Human boots. multiple sets moving erratically, circling the deer carcass. My stomach drops. People were here. People killed this deer. And judging by the tracks, by the way they're laid down, overlapping and confused, those people weren't moving right. Infected. I back away slowly, rifle up, checking every direction. The tracks lead off to the west, deeper into the forest, away from the shelter. But they're here. They made it this far into the mountains. I get back to the shelter and lock the door and spend the rest of the day fortifying. I move the heavy water barrel in front of the door as an extra barricade. I check the windows, make sure they're secure. I load the rifle and set it by the bed within easy reach. That night, I don't sleep. I sit by the window with the lamp off and watch the darkness. Nothing comes. But now I know they're out there. Day 7. I don't leave the shelter except to piss. I watch from the window. The forest looks normal, peaceful, but I can't trust it anymore. I'm going through supplies too fast. The canned goods are dwindling. I've eaten maybe a quarter of what I have already. At this rate, I'll be out in 6 weeks, not 2 months. I need to be more careful. Ration better. 1 meal a day, maybe. Supplement with foraged foods. I make a list of edible plants in the area. Acorns, though they need processing to remove the tannins. Cattail roots from the marshy area near the spring. Pine nuts, if I can find any. Berries are out of season. Mushrooms, maybe, but that's risky. I'm not an expert. Day 8, I venture out again. I need food. I take the rifle and move carefully, checking behind me constantly. I find the marshy area. Cattails are growing thick. I dig up some roots, wash them in the stream. They're starchy and bland but edible. While I'm there, I see more tracks. Fresh ones. Boots again, moving along the stream bank. I follow them for a bit. They lead to a spot where someone crossed the stream. The tracks on the other side are smudged, unclear. But they're heading east, toward the shelter. I run back. My lungs are burning by the time I reach it. The door is still locked. Nothing has been disturbed. But I feel exposed now, vulnerable. I spend the afternoon improving the defenses. I pile rocks around the base of the door, making it harder to force open. I cut some saplings and sharpen the ends and plant them in the ground around the shelter. Points out. Simple but effective. That night I hear sounds. Footsteps on rock. Slow. Irregular. Something is out there. I look through the window, but it's too dark to see anything. The moon is just a sliver. The stars are out, thousands of them, but they don't provide enough light. The footsteps continue, circling the shelter. Then they stop at the door. Silence. Then a sound, a low moan. Not quite human, not quite animal. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely hold the rifle. The moan again. Then scratching at the door. Different from the mountain lion, more purposeful, like hands dragging across wood. I don't breathe. Don't move. Just sit there in the darkness, with the rifle pointed at the door. The scratching continues for maybe 5 minutes, then stops. The footsteps move away, slowly, dragging. I wait another hour before I move. When I finally do, my muscles are so tense they cramp. I light a candle. Check the door. There are scratch marks on the outside. I can see them through the small gap at the bottom. Fresh gouges in the wood. Whatever it was, it's gone now. But it knows the shelter is here. It knows something is inside. I don't sleep that night either. By day 10, I'm exhausted, running on maybe 3 hours of sleep total over the past 3 days. I'm making mistakes. I knocked over a water container and spilled a gallon. I cut my hand opening a can because I wasn't paying attention. I nearly tripped and fell off the cliff while checking the solar panels. I need to sleep, but I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the scratching, the moaning. I force myself to eat. Canned peaches. They're sweet and syrupy, and my stomach rebels, but I keep them down. Then I make a decision. I can't stay here like this. I'm going to go crazy. I need to know what's out there. Need to see it in daylight. I take the rifle and go hunting. Not for food, for information. I follow the tracks from the stream. They're still visible, though some are fading. I move slowly, carefully, stopping every few minutes to listen. The forest is quiet today. Too quiet. No birds. I find more signs. A backpack discarded under a tree, torn open. Contents scattered. Clothes, energy bars. A water bottle with a bite taken out of the plastic. Further on, a campsite, or what's left of one. A tent collapsed and ripped. A sleeping bag shredded. Blood on the ground, dried to brown crust. And a body. I almost don't see it at first. It's half hidden under some ferns. A man, middle-aged, wearing hiking gear. He's been dead for a while. Days, at least. Animals have been at him. His face is mostly gone, but I can see the bite marks on his neck, his arms, his hands. I back away, scan the area. Nothing moving. The body just lies there. I should bury it, should do something. But I don't have the tools, and I don't have the time. And I'm afraid that if I get too close, it might not be as dead as it looks. I leave it there and head back to the shelter. That night I sleep for the first time in days. Deep, dreamless sleep. My body finally shutting down from exhaustion. I wake up around 3 a.m. to the sound of the door rattling. Something is trying to open it. The deadbolt holds, but the whole door is shaking in the frame. I can hear breathing on the other side. Ragged, wet. I grab the rifle and aim at the door. My heart is hammering so hard it feels like it's going to break through my ribs. The rattling stops. Then the scratching starts again, all across the door. Multiple hands, more than one of them out there. Then a voice. Help! It sounds almost human, almost. But there's something wrong with it. The tone is flat. The pronunciation is off. Help us. I don't respond, don't move, barely breathe. Let us in. The scratching intensifies. The door flexes but holds. This goes on for hours. The voice is calling out. Help, please, let us in. So cold, so hungry. I sit there in the darkness with the rifle, and I don't answer. Eventually they leave. The sky is getting light when the sounds finally stop. I wait until full daylight before I check. Look through the window first. The area around the shelter looks clear. Then I open the door a crack. The scratch marks are deeper now. The wood is gouged and splintered. There are handprints on the door, dark stains, blood maybe. And there are things on the ground, objects, a watch, a ring, a child's shoe, offerings. They were trying to trade for entry. I close the door and lock it and sit on the floor with my back against the wall. I can't stay here. They know where I am. They'll come back. But I can't leave either. Where would I go? The Delta 7 safe zone is days away. I'd never make it. I'm trapped. I spend day 11 preparing. If they're going to come back, I need to be ready. I reinforce the door with a piece of metal from an old solar panel frame, screwing it into the wood. I pile more rocks against it from the inside. I check the windows, make sure they're too small for anything to fit through. I move all the supplies away from the walls, creating clear space in case I need to move around quickly. I load the rifle and set it by the bunk. I sharpen the hatchet. I set out the hunting knife where I can reach it easily. The shelter is now a fortress, and I'm a prisoner in it. That night they come back. More of them this time. I can hear at least 4 or 5 distinct sets of footsteps. They circle the shelter. They scratch at the walls. They call out in those flat, wrong voices. I sit in the darkness and wait. One of them finds the saplings I planted. I hear a scream, high and sharp, then the sound of something falling. The others keep circling. They try the door again. The reinforcements hold. They try the windows, too small. Then one of them starts hitting the wall, rocks thudding against stone, over and over, methodical, like they're trying to break through. The wall holds. It's solid. But the sound goes on for hours. When dawn comes, they leave again. I check outside. There's blood on one of the sharpened saplings. It worked. And there are more objects on the ground. A wallet, a photograph, car keys. I look at the photograph. It's a family. Mom, Dad, 2 kids, smiling, standing in front of a Christmas tree. The dad is the body I found in the woods. I put the photograph in my pocket. Don't know why, day 12. I'm running low on water. The containers are almost empty. I need to go to the spring, but I'm afraid to leave the shelter. I wait until noon when the sun is highest and the forest is brightest. Then I take 2 containers and the rifle and I move fast. The spring is undisturbed. I fill the containers, my hands shaking. Keep looking over my shoulder. Something moves in the trees. I freeze. A deer. Just a deer. It looks at me with big dark eyes, then bounds away. I get back to the shelter without incident. But I can't keep doing this. Can't keep living in fear, jumping at every sound. I need a plan. Option 1, stay here. Keep fortifying. Hope they lose interest and move on. Risk, they might not move on. They might get in eventually. Option 2, try to reach the Delta 7 safe zone. Risk, days of travel through infected territory. Might not even exist anymore. Option 3, move to a different location. Find somewhere more defensible. Risk, anywhere else I go will have the same problems, and I'll be giving up all the supplies and fortifications here. I don't decide. I eat a can of corn and some of the cattail roots and try to think. The radio broadcast is still repeating. The same message. Come to Delta 7. Safety, security, supplies. It could be a trap, or it could be real. That night, only 2 of them come. They don't stay long. An hour of scratching and calling out, and then they're gone. Maybe they are losing interest. Day 13. I venture further from the shelter. I need to know what's happening down in the valley. Need to see if there are more of them, if they're spreading. I hike to an overlook about a mile south. It's a rocky outcrop that gives a view of the valley below and the roads cutting through it. What I see makes my blood run cold. The main highway is packed with cars, not moving, just sitting there, abandoned. Hundreds of them. From this distance, they look like toys. And between the cars, moving in slow streams, are figures. Too far away to see clearly, but I can see enough. The way they move, shambling, erratic, thousands of them. The valley is full of infected. I watch for an hour. The figures move without purpose, wandering between the cars, clustering in groups sometimes, then spreading out again. A few are moving up into the foothills. Not many, but some. They're spreading out, looking for food, for prey. Eventually they'll make it up here. I head back to the shelter, my mind racing. I can't stay, not long term. The valley is a reservoir of infected, and they're expanding outward like a slow flood. I need to go to Delta 7. It's my only chance. But I need to prepare first. Gather supplies, plan the route. Wait for the right weather. I spend the next week getting ready. I dry some of the meat. Pack food into a backpack, rationing what I'll need versus what I'll have to leave behind. I fill water bottles. I make a map of the route based on the coordinates, marking water sources and possible shelter locations. I pack ammunition, the medical kit, a tarp, rope, fire-starting materials, a change of clothes, the warmest gear I have. The pack is heavy, maybe 50 pounds, but I can't take less. I'll need every bit of it. During this week, the infected come back 3 more times, but they seem less aggressive now. They scratch at the door for a while, then leave. Maybe they're giving up, or maybe they're conserving energy. I don't know. On day 19, I'm ready to leave. The weather forecast on the radio, one of the automated ones still broadcasting, says a storm is coming in 2 days. If I'm going to go, it has to be now. I pack everything. Do a final check of the shelter. Leave behind most of the canned goods, the tools, the seeds. Maybe I'll come back someday. Probably not. I lock the door behind me and hide the key under a rock. Force of habit. The trail down is easier now. I've done it so many times. I reach the clearing by mid-morning. The truck is still there. So is the Jeep, which surprises me. I check the Jeep. Keys in the ignition. Quarter tank of gas. The people from before must have abandoned it. I could drive and make better time. But the roads are clogged with abandoned vehicles according to what I saw from the overlook. I'd get stuck. Better to go on foot, stay off the main roads. I take a last look at the truck. Then I shoulder the pack and start walking. The route to Delta 7 takes me northeast. I'll follow the ridgeline for the first day, staying high, avoiding the valley. Then I'll have to descend and cross through some lower terrain, then back up into the mountains where the coordinates are. 3 days minimum, 4 to be safe. I can do this. The first day goes well. I make good time. The ridgeline is exposed but clear. I can see for miles. Occasionally, I spot figures down in the valley, but they're far away. I find a place to camp for the night, a small cave formed by overhanging rocks. I don't light a fire. Eat some jerky and dried fruit, drink water, listen to the forest. It's quiet. Too quiet again. No night sounds, no owls, no coyotes. I sleep in shifts, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. The rifle across my lap. Nothing bothers me. Day 2, I start the descent. The terrain gets rougher. Dense forest, fallen trees, creek crossings. My pace slows. Around noon, I come across a road. Paved but cracked and overgrown. I check both directions. No movement, no vehicles. I need to cross it. It's exposed, but it's faster than fighting through the underbrush. I step out onto the pavement. Start across, a sound, engine noise. I dive back into the tree line just as a motorcycle comes around the bend. 2 people on it. They're moving fast, weaving around debris on the road. They pass without seeing me. I wait 10 minutes, then cross. On the other side, I find a trail, an old hunting path. I follow it. The forest here feels wrong. I can't explain it. The trees are too close together. The light is dim, even though it's midday. Everything is silent. I push through, keep moving. Late afternoon, I hear water. A creek. I need to refill my bottles. I approach carefully. The creek is running clear and fast. I kneel down and start filling a bottle. That's when I see the body in the water. It's caught against some rocks about 20 feet downstream. A woman. She's face down, arms spread. Her jacket is torn. I can see bones showing through the fabric on her back. The water flowing past her is tinged pink. I cap the bottle without filling it. Move upstream. Fill there instead. As I'm capping the second bottle, I hear something. A snap. Branch breaking. I turn. There's a figure standing at the edge of the trees, watching me. It's a man. Older. Gray hair. He's wearing what used to be a business suit. The jacket is ripped. The shirt is covered in dark stains. His eyes are milky white. His mouth opens. That flat voice. Help! I grab the rifle. Bring it up. He takes a step toward me, then another. Slow, dragging one leg. I'm hungry, he says. I back away. He keeps coming. Please, he says, help me. I'm about to shoot when I hear more sounds. More branches breaking. To my left, to my right. Two more figures emerging from the trees. A woman in a nurse's uniform. A teenage boy in a football jersey. They're surrounding me. I run. Crashing through the underbrush, the pack bouncing, the rifle clutched in both hands. Behind me, the sounds of pursuit. Feet dragging through leaves, branches snapping. They're not fast, but they're persistent. I run for maybe 10 minutes before I can't anymore. My lungs are burning. I stop behind a large boulder and listen. The sounds are still there. Closer, I check the rifle. Make sure there's a round chambered. The man in the suit appears first. He's still coming, still dragging that leg. I aim. Squeeze the trigger. The shot is deafening. The man's head snaps back. He drops. The others keep coming. I shoot the woman. She falls. The boy is faster. He's almost on me when I shoot him. The round takes him in the chest. He staggers but doesn't fall. I shoot again. Head shot. He goes down. Silence. I stand there, breathing hard, ears ringing from the shots. 3 bodies on the ground, not moving. I check them to be sure. They're dead. Really dead this time. The man's wallet is still in his pocket. I check it. Driver's license. His name was Robert Chen. Address in Portland. He was 56 years old. I put the wallet back and keep moving. By the time I find a place to camp for the second night, it's almost dark and I'm exhausted. The cave I find is smaller than the first one, but it'll do. I crawl inside and pull some branches across the entrance. I don't eat. Can't. My hands are still shaking. I killed 3 people today, or things that used to be people. Does it matter? Yes. No. I don't know. I sleep badly. Wake up multiple times thinking I hear sounds outside. But it's just the wind. Day 3, I'm slower. My body aches. The pack feels heavier. I'm maybe halfway to Delta 7. The terrain levels out. I'm in a valley now, following a stream. According to my map, there should be a fire road somewhere ahead that will take me back up into the mountains. I find it around mid-morning. It's overgrown, but passable. I start the climb. That's when the rain starts. Just a drizzle at first, then heavier. Within an hour, I'm soaked through. The temperature drops. My fingers go numb. I need shelter, but there's nothing here. Just open road and trees. I keep walking. The rain turns to sleet, ice pellets stinging my face. The road becomes slippery. I fall twice, catching myself on my hands, the pack trying to pull me backward. By afternoon, I'm hypothermic. I can feel it, the shivering, the confusion, the urge to just lie down and sleep. I know I'm in trouble. There, ahead, a structure, some kind of building. I stumble toward it. It's an old ranger station, abandoned. The windows are broken. The door is hanging off its hinges. I get inside. It's dry. That's all that matters. I drop the pack and collapse. My whole body is shaking. Need to get warm. Need to get these wet clothes off. I strip down to my underwear. Dig through the pack. The tarp stayed relatively dry. I wrap myself in it. Pull out the emergency blanket, the crinkly silver one. Wrap that around me too. Then I just lie there on the floor and shake. Hours pass. The shaking eventually stops. I drift in and out of consciousness. When I wake up, it's dark and the rain has stopped. I'm still cold, but not dying anymore. I force myself to eat. Jerky, nuts, an energy bar. Drink water. Then I check my gear. Most of it is wet. The sleeping bag is soaked. Useless. Some of the food got wet too. I spread everything out to dry as best I can. I can't stay here long. This building isn't secure, but I need to recover. Need to get my strength back. I spend the night there. Don't sleep much. Keep the rifle close. In the morning, the sun is out. I hang everything in the sunlight to dry. Takes most of the day, but eventually it's dry enough. I check my map. I'm about a day from the Delta 7 coordinates, maybe less. I repack and start walking. The terrain gets more rugged. I'm climbing again. My legs are weak. I have to stop frequently to rest. Late afternoon, I reach a ridgeline and I can see it. In the valley below, a compound, fences, buildings, smoke rising from chimneys, Delta 7. It's real. I glass it with the scope on the rifle. I can see people moving around inside the fence. Actual living people. They have vehicles, gardens, solar panels. It looks organized, safe. I start down toward it. The approach is tricky. The land is open here. I'll be visible, but there's no other way. When I'm about a quarter mile from the fence, I see movement. People on the wall. They've spotted me. One of them raises something, a megaphone. Stop where you are. Identify yourself. I stop. Hold the rifle over my head with both hands. Universal sign of non-aggression. My name is Derek Paulson. I'm alone. I heard your broadcast. I'm not infected. Silence. Then, set down your weapon and walk forward slowly. Keep your hands where we can see them. I set down the rifle. The pack too. Walk forward with my hands up. When I'm about 50 feet from the fence, they tell me to stop again. A gate opens. 3 people come out. 2 men and a woman. They're wearing what looks like riot gear. They have guns. Strip, one of them says. What? Strip. We need to check for bites. I hesitate. Then I comply. Take off my jacket. My shirt. My pants. Boots. Everything. I stand there in my underwear in the cold while they circle me, looking. Turn around, arms up. I do it. He's clean, the woman says. All right, get dressed. You'll be quarantined for 72 hours. If you show no signs of infection, you'll be admitted to the main camp. Understand? Yes. Bring your gear. They escort me through the gate. It closes behind me with a heavy clang. Inside the fence is a small building. Concrete, no windows. They take me inside. It's a single room with a cot, a bucket, a bottle of water. 72 hours, the woman says. Someone will check on you periodically. Don't try to leave. They close the door. I hear a lock click. I'm alone again. But I made it. I'm here. I sit on the cot and put my head in my hands. I made it. The quarantine room is maybe 8 by 8 feet. Concrete walls, concrete floor, single bare bulb in the ceiling. The cot is thin and uncomfortable. The bucket is for waste. It's luxury compared to running through the woods being chased by infected. I sleep for most of the first day. Real sleep, deep and heavy. When I wake up, there's food by the door. A tray with a sandwich, an apple, and a bottle of water. The sandwich is peanut butter and jelly. It's the best thing I've ever tasted. Someone must have come in while I was asleep. I didn't hear them. I eat slowly, make it last. Then I drink half the water and save the rest. There's nothing to do but wait. No books, No windows, just the walls and the light. I think about the journey here, the shelter, the infected, the bodies. Robert Chen with his driver's license from Portland. I think about Melanie. Wonder if she made it. Wonder if she's in a place like this somewhere, or if she's dead, or worse. The second day is harder. The boredom is crushing. I pace the room, count the cinder blocks in the walls, 247 of them, do push-ups. Sit-ups, anything to pass the time. Food comes twice, morning and evening. More sandwiches, some canned fruit, crackers. I sleep when I can, but I'm not tired anymore. On the third day, I start to worry. What if they decide I'm infected? What if they just leave me here? What if this whole thing is a trap? But the food keeps coming. And in the evening of the third day, the door opens. It's the woman from before. She's not wearing the riot gear now, just jeans and a jacket. "You're clear," she says. "Welcome to Delta 7. I follow her out. The sun is setting. The compound is bigger than I thought. There are maybe 20 buildings. I can see gardens, rows of vegetables, solar panels, a well with a hand pump, people moving around, maybe 60 or 70 of them. It's civilization, small, fragile, but real. She takes me to a larger building. Inside is a cafeteria. Tables, benches, the smell of cooking food. "Get something to eat," she says. "Then we'll get you set up with a bunk." I get in line. The food is simple. Some kind of stew, bread, coffee. I sit at a table alone. The stew is hot and rich. Actual meat in it. I don't ask what kind. A man sits down across from me. He's older, gray beard, flannel shirt. "Derek, right?" he says. "Yeah." "I'm Tom. I run this place, more or less." More or less. We vote on major decisions. But day-to-day stuff, I coordinate. Make sure everyone has work. Make sure the supplies are distributed fairly. How many people are here? 73 now, including you. We started with 12 about 3 weeks ago. More keep showing up. What's the deal here? What are the rules? Simple. Everyone works. Everyone contributes. We share resources equally. No stealing, no violence. If you're infected, you quarantine yourself immediately. If you turn, we put you down. Fair enough. You have any skills? Medical, engineering, farming? Forest Service. I can hunt, fish, purify water, basic carpentry and maintenance. Good, we can use that. There's a hunting party that goes out every few days. You'll probably join them once you're settled. I nod. Eat more stew. Where'd you come from? Tom asks. Had a shelter, up in the mountains about 80 miles southwest of here. By yourself? Yeah. That must have been rough. It was. He studies me for a moment. You did good, making it here. A lot of people don't. I saw. Yeah. We sit in silence for a bit. Then Tom stands. Finish eating. Someone will show you to the bunkhouse. Get some rest. We'll talk more tomorrow. He walks away. I finish the stew, drink the coffee. It's real coffee, not great, but it's hot and caffeinated. A younger guy approaches, maybe early 20s. Blonde hair, nervous energy. Hey, I'm supposed to show you to the bunkhouse. I'm Alex. Derek. Yeah, I know. Come on. I follow him outside. We walk across the compound. People glance at me but don't stare. New arrivals must be common enough. The bunkhouse is a long building with rows of bunk beds. It smells like sweat and wood smoke. Find an empty bunk, Alex says. There's a few over on the far end. Bathroom is out back. Showers run cold, but they run. Breakfast is at 7. Don't be late or you miss it. Got it. Thanks. He nods and leaves. I find an empty lower bunk and sit down. The mattress is thin but better than the cot in quarantine. I have a small trunk next to the bed for personal items. That's it. I lie down and close my eyes. For the first time in weeks, I feel safe. I wake up to someone ringing a bell. It's still dark outside. I check my watch. 6:30. People are stirring. Getting up, getting dressed. I do the same. Breakfast is in the cafeteria. Oatmeal, powdered milk, some kind of fruit compote, coffee. I eat quickly. The oatmeal is bland but filling. After breakfast, Tom finds me. You're on the hunting party today. We need meat. There's a group leaving in an hour. Meet at the gate. An hour later, I'm standing at the gate with 4 other people. There's a woman named Jennifer who looks to be in her 40s. 2 younger guys, brothers I think, named Kyle and Marcus. And an older man named Roy who has a compound bow. We head out. The plan is to check some snares Roy set up a few days ago and then see if we can find deer sign. The forest outside the fence feels different now, less threatening. Or maybe I just feel less alone. We check the snares. 2 rabbits. Kyle and Marcus dress them quickly, efficiently. Then we move deeper into the woods. Roy is tracking. He points out signs I would have missed, scrapes on trees, droppings, a trail worn into the undergrowth. We move quietly. After about an hour, Roy stops, points ahead. A deer, a doe, maybe 80 yards away. Roy knocks an arrow, takes aim, releases. The arrow flies true. The doe bolts, but only makes it about 30 yards before she collapses. We approach carefully. She's dead. Clean kill. Roy and the brothers start field dressing her. Jennifer and I keep watch. How long have you been here? I ask her quietly. About 2 weeks. Came from a town about 40 miles north. It got overrun. Family. Had a husband. He didn't make it. I'm sorry, she shrugs. Everyone's got a story. We're quiet for a bit. Then she says, "What about you?" Forest ranger. Had a shelter built up. Stayed there for a while, couldn't anymore. Why not? They found it. The infected. Yeah, they spread. We've seen it too. They're moving out from the cities, following the roads, following sounds. How long do you think before they reach here? I don't know. Tom thinks we have a few months. Maybe more if we're lucky. We're remote enough. And if they do reach here, we fight, or we run again. The brothers finish with the deer. We take turns carrying the meat. It's a long walk back, but we make it by mid-afternoon. The meat goes to the kitchen. The cook, a woman named Diane, divides it up. Some for tonight. Some get smoked for preservation. The rest of the day is free. I explore the compound. There's a workshop with tools, a storage building with supplies, mostly canned goods and medical equipment, a small infirmary with a nurse named Carl. There's a meeting area with benches around a fire pit. People gather there in the evening. I join them. Someone has a guitar. They play, not well, but it doesn't matter. People talk, share stories, laugh even. It feels almost normal. That night in the bunkhouse, I lie awake thinking, this place is good, better than I expected. But it's not permanent. Can't be. Eventually the infected will come, or supplies will run out, or something else will go wrong. Nothing lasts, but for now, it's enough. Days pass. I fall into the routine. Hunt every few days, help with maintenance, repair a fence, chop wood, haul water. I meet more people, learn their stories. Sarah, who was a teacher. Greg, who was a mechanic. Linda, who was a nurse. Everyone from different places, different lives, all brought together by the same disaster. The infected are out there. We see signs of them. Sometimes we hear them at night, distant moans, but they haven't found the compound yet. Tom thinks the fence will hold if they do. It's chain link, topped with barbed wire. We've reinforced it in places, built watchtowers at the corners. But I've seen what they can do. I've seen them tear apart a deer. I'm not sure a fence will stop them if they come in numbers. I keep my doubts to myself. One evening, there's a meeting. Town hall style. Tom stands in front of everyone. "We need to talk about the future," he says. "We're doing okay right now. We have food, water, shelter. But winter is coming. We need to prepare." He lays out a plan: reinforce the buildings, stockpile more firewood, hunt and preserve more meat, plant a late-season crop of cold, hardy vegetables. Everyone agrees. Work begins the next day. I'm assigned to the firewood detail. We go out in groups, cut down dead trees, haul them back, split them. It's hard work, but good work. Physical, tiring, keeps the mind occupied. During a water break, Alex sits next to me. "You ever think about before?" he asks. "Before what?" "Before all this. Normal life." "Sometimes. I was in college, sophomore year, studying engineering, had a girlfriend. We were going to get an apartment together. What happened to her? I don't know. We were in different cities when it started. I tried to call, never got through. Sorry. Yeah." We sit in silence. "You think things will ever go back?" he asks. "No. Me neither. But it's nice to think about sometimes." That night I dream about Melanie. We're in our old apartment, before the divorce. She's making breakfast, eggs and toast. The sun is coming through the window. Everything is normal. Then she turns, and her eyes are white, and her mouth opens, and that flat voice says, "Help me." And I wake up gasping. Around me, the bunkhouse is quiet. People sleeping. I lie back down and stare at the ceiling until morning. The days get shorter, colder. We have the first frost. And the vegetables in the garden start to die back, but we harvest what we can. Potatoes, carrots, some squash. The hunting gets harder. The deer are moving to lower elevations. We have to go further to find them. On one trip we find something else, another compound, or what's left of one. It's about 10 miles west of Delta 7. Burned. The fence is torn down. Bodies scattered around. Maybe 20 of them. Roy checks the bodies. All of them have been dead for weeks. Most have bite marks. "What do you think happened?" Kyle asks. "Overrun," Roy says. "They couldn't hold." We search the ruins, find some supplies, canned food, a few tools, ammunition. We take what we can carry. On the way back, no one talks. That night, Tom calls another meeting. He tells everyone what we found. "We need to be more careful," he says. "We need better defenses, more weapons, more training." A man named Paul stands up. He's been here since the beginning. "We need to scout further out, find other groups, trade, build alliances." "Too dangerous," someone says. "Sitting here waiting is dangerous too," Paul counters. They argue. Eventually, Tom calls a vote. The decision is to send out a scouting party. Volunteers only. I volunteer. So do Paul, Jennifer, and a younger woman named Amanda. We leave 3 days later. The plan is to head east, see if there are any other survivor groups, make contact if possible. We'll be gone for a week. We take packs, food, water, weapons, medical supplies, a radio in case we need to call back to Delta 7. The first day is uneventful. We follow old fire roads, see signs of people, old campsites, abandoned cars, but no actual survivors. The second day we reach a small town. It's deserted, windows smashed, doors hanging open, We search a few buildings, find some supplies, canned goods, batteries, nothing major. In one house we find bodies, a family. They're in the living room. The parents are on the couch, 2 kids on the floor. They didn't turn. They just died. Starvation, maybe. Or illness. There's a note on the coffee table. We tried. We really tried. Tell our story, please, someone. Amanda takes the note, folds it carefully, puts it in her pocket. We leave the town. That night we camp in an old barn. It's cold. We take turns on watch. During my watch I hear something. Engines. Distant. I wake the others. We listen. The sound gets closer. Multiple vehicles. Motorcycles, maybe. Hide, Paul whispers. We grab our packs and climb into the hayloft. Below we hear the barn door open. Voices. Men. Laughing. Check for supplies, one says. We hear them moving around, kicking things, breaking things. Nothing here, another voice says. Let's move on. They leave. The engines start up again, fade away. We wait an hour before coming down. Raiders, Paul says, probably from one of the cities, scavenging. Are there a lot of them? Amanda asks. Hard to say, but if there's one group, there's probably more. We decide to head back. We've seen enough. The world outside Delta 7 is dangerous. More dangerous than we thought. We make it back in 3 days. Tell Tom what we saw. The burned compound. The dead town. The raiders. He listens. Then he says, we need to be self-sufficient. No more scouting. We focus on defense and sustainability. Everyone agrees. Winter comes. The first snow falls. It's beautiful and terrifying. Beautiful because it covers everything in white, makes the world look clean. Terrifying because it means we're trapped. Can't travel, can't hunt as easily, can't do much except try to stay warm. We burn through firewood faster than expected. Tom implements rationing. Each building gets a certain amount per day. We huddle together for warmth. Food becomes a concern. We're eating into the stockpiles. The hunting parties go out, but come back empty more often than not. People get sick. Colds, flu. Carl, the nurse, does what he can, but supplies are limited. A man named Steve dies. Pneumonia. We bury him outside the fence. The ground is frozen. We have to use picks to break through. It's the first death at Delta 7 that wasn't from infection. It won't be the last. Morale drops. People argue more about food, about work assignments, about everything. Tom tries to keep everyone together, but it's hard. One night there's a fight. 2 men fighting over a woman. It gets bloody. Roy and I break it up. Tom exiles one of them, sends him out into the snow with 3 days of food in his gear. We watch him walk away into the trees. He doesn't come back. I wonder if he made it, if he found somewhere else, or if he froze to death, or got attacked. I don't ask. The infected are still out there. We hear them sometimes. But the snow seems to slow them down. Or maybe there just aren't as many this far out. Either way, we haven't had an attack. Christmas comes. Or what we think is Christmas. We've lost track of the exact date. Someone makes a tree from pine branches. We decorate it with things we find. Bits of wire, bottle caps, scraps of cloth. Diane makes a special meal. Roasted rabbit, potatoes, some kind of pie made with the last of the sugar and some dried apples. We sit together, eat, sing some songs, try to pretend things are okay. They're not okay. But we pretend anyway. That night I lie in my bunk and think about my grandmother's quilt, the one I left behind at my apartment. I wonder if it's still there. Probably not. Probably taken or burned or destroyed. It's just a thing. Things don't matter. But it does matter. It mattered to me. I close my eyes and try to remember the pattern, the colors, the way it smelled like her house, lavender and old books. The memory is already fading. January is brutal. The coldest winter anyone can remember. We lose another person, an older woman named Ruth. Heart attack. Nothing Carl could do. We bury her next to Steve. Supplies are critically low. Tom implements stricter rationing. 1 meal a day, small portions. People are hungry, always hungry. The hunting parties go out, but it's dangerous. The snow is deep. The cold is deadly. We lose a man. Kyle, one of the brothers. He falls through ice crossing a creek. We can't get to him in time. Marcus blames himself. Stops talking, just works all day. Chops wood until his hands bleed. February's worse. Supplies are nearly gone. We're eating things we wouldn't have considered before. Boiling leather boots to make broth. Eating pine bark. People talk about leaving, about trying to make it to lower elevations. Somewhere warmer. Tom says no. We'd never survive the journey. But some people leave anyway, a group of 5. They take what supplies they can carry and walk out the gate. We never see them again. Those of us left, we hold on. We have to. And then, in early March, the snow starts to melt. The spring comes slow, but it comes. The ice breaks on the creek. The snow recedes. Green starts to show through. We plant the gardens, every seed we have. We hunt. The deer are back. Slowly, the supplies rebuild. We made it through the winter. Not all of us, but enough. Spring turns to summer. The gardens grow. We have vegetables. Fresh food. It's a miracle. New people show up. Refugees from other places. We take them in if we have space. If they pass quarantine, the compound grows. We build new structures. A second bunkhouse, a larger kitchen, a workshop. Tom implements a council. 5 people elected to make decisions together. I'm nominated, but I decline. I don't want the responsibility. Jennifer gets elected. So does Paul, and 3 others. Things stabilize. We have routines, systems, rules that work. But the infected are still out there. We see them sometimes, wandering in the forest. We avoid them when we can. Put them down when we can't. One day a large group shows up at the fence, maybe 30 of them. They just stand there, swaying, moaning. We man the walls. Wait, they don't attack. They just stand there. After 3 days, they wander off. Tom says they're drawn to noise, to signs of life. We need to be quieter, more careful. We implement new rules. No loud noises, no fires during the day unless absolutely necessary. Lookouts on the walls at all times. The summer passes. We harvest the gardens, preserve what we can, prepare for another winter. I'm on a hunting party when we find it. A radio tower, old, tall, with equipment at the base. Paul, who's with us, checks it out. This could work. We could broadcast. Try to contact other groups. We report back to the council. They approve the plan. Paul and another guy, a former electrician named Greg, spend weeks getting it working. They scavenge parts from the compound, from abandoned buildings. Finally, they get it running. We broadcast. Simple message. Delta 7, coordinates, safe zone. Survivors welcome. We don't know if anyone hears. But a week later, someone responds. A voice on the radio. Delta 7, this is Cascade Base. We read you. Are you government? Paul answers. Negative. Civilian survivors. About 90 of us. Cascade Base is military. Remnants of the National Guard. We're establishing safe zones, trying to rebuild. Where are you located? They give coordinates. About 200 miles north. We're trying to reconnect pockets of survivors, establish trade routes, communication networks. Are you interested? The council debates. Some say yes. Some say no. It's too risky. They vote. Yes wins. Barely. We send a delegation. Paul, Jennifer, 2 others. They take a truck we've managed to get running. They have supplies to trade. Maps, information. They're gone for 2 weeks. When they come back, they have news. Cascade Base is real. Legitimate. About 300 survivors. Military personnel and civilians. They have resources, medicine, weapons, food, and they want to establish contact with other groups. Build a network. Start rebuilding society. Sounds too good to be true. But the supplies they bring back are real. Medicine, ammunition, seeds, even some luxuries. Coffee, sugar, soap. Over the next months, we establish regular communication with Cascade Base. They send a liaison, a soldier named Lieutenant Harris. He stays with us, helps us improve our defenses. Our organization, other groups join the network. Smaller compounds like ours, survivor communities. The radio becomes our lifeline. We hear about other safe zones. Some fail, some succeed. We learn from both. The infected are still a threat, but they're spreading out, thinning. Some of them are breaking down, the body's decaying. Harris says the military thinks the infection has a lifespan. The infected don't eat, don't sleep. Their bodies are just running on whatever animates them. Eventually, they'll all break down. It might take years, but there's an end. For the first time, I feel something like hope. I'm on the wall one evening, watching the sunset. The sky is orange and purple. Beautiful. Alex joins me. He's grown. Not the nervous kid he was. Stronger, more confident. You ever think about your shelter? He asks. The one you built? Sometimes. Think anyone found it? Maybe. Probably. Would you go back? I think about it. The shelter, the cliff, the isolation. No, I say. I wouldn't. Why not? Because this is better. People, community. It's harder, but it's better. He nods. We stand there in silence, watching the sky darken. Derek, he says. Yeah. Thanks for making it here. For helping us. I didn't do anything special. You survived. That's special enough. The stars come out. Thousands of them. More than I ever saw before the lights went out. I think about where I started. The ranger station. The empty roads. The climb to the shelter. The journey here. All of it led to this moment. Standing on a wall, watching the stars. Alive. It's enough. Winter comes again. We're better prepared this time. More food. More firewood. Better insulation. We lose people. Not as many. But some. Illness, accidents, old age. We gain people too. New arrivals. Babies even. Carl delivers 3 healthy babies over the winter. Life continues. The infected become less common. Harris was right. They're breaking down. We see them sometimes. Collapsed in the snow, frozen, no longer moving. The threat isn't gone. But it's diminishing. Spring comes. We plant again. The cycle continues. I'm assigned to lead a hunting party. We go further now. The forest is safer. We find an old cabin, abandoned. Inside are supplies and a journal. I read it. It's from before. A family lived here. Tried to wait out the infection. They didn't make it. The last entry is dated months ago. We're out of food. Going to try to reach the highway. If anyone finds this, we tried our best. I close the journal. Leave it where I found it. On the way back, we see smoke. Far off. A controlled fire. Another group, maybe. I report it to the council. They send an expedition. They find another survivor community. Smaller than ours, About 20 people. We establish contact, trade, cooperation. The network grows. Months pass, a year, 2 years. Delta 7 is different now. Bigger, more organized. We have a school, a clinic, workshops, fields of crops. The infected are rare. We go weeks without seeing one. Cascade Base sends word. They're starting to reclaim cities. Small ones first. Clearing out the infected, making them safe. It's slow work, dangerous, but it's happening. Civilization is rebuilding. I'm 42 years old now. 4 years since the outbreak. I've aged more than 4 years. My hair is graying. My body aches from the work. But I'm alive. I sit by the fire pit one evening. Jennifer is there. We're together now. Have been for about a year. It's nice, comfortable. You ever think about before? She asks. Same question Alex asked me years ago. Sometimes. Less now. Me too. Do you miss it? She considers. Parts of it. But not enough to wish this didn't happen. Really. I met you. I found a purpose. I'm alive in a way I wasn't before. So no, I don't wish this didn't happen. I think about that. About Melanie. About my old life. The ranger station. The routine. Yeah, I say. I know what you mean. We sit in silence. The fire crackles. Above us, the stars. Another year passes, then another. Delta 7 is a town now, over 200 people. We have a mayor, elected. It's Tom. Still, we have trade routes with a dozen other communities. We have radio contact with Cascade Base and other military installations. The infected are almost gone. We haven't seen one in months. The cities are being reclaimed. Slowly. Street by street. There's talk of electricity. Real electricity. Power grids being restored. It's not the old world. It never will be. Too much has changed. Too many are gone. But it's a world. A new one. Being built from the ashes of the old. I'm on a supply run when I see it. An old sign. Rusted. Bullet holes in it. Welcome to Roseburg. I stop the truck. Get out. Stand there looking at the sign. Roseburg. Where I saw the smoke rising. Where it all started for me. The city has been reclaimed. Partially. There are people here. Working. Rebuilding. I drive through. The streets are damaged but passable. Buildings are being repaired. I see a school. Kids playing in a yard. It's surreal. I stop at what used to be the ranger station. It's still standing. Damaged but intact. I go inside. It's been looted. Everything of value taken. But the structure is sound. I find my old desk. Sit down. The chair creaks. On the wall is a map. Old. Faded. Showing the Forest Service area I used to patrol. I trace the roads with my finger, following the path I took that day, to the shelter, to survival. Someone comes in, a woman, about my age, wearing a construction vest. Can I help you? She asks. I used to work here, before. Oh, yeah. We're planning to restore this building, turn it back into a ranger station, if we can find anyone who knows forestry. I smile. I know forestry. Really? You interested in a job? I think about it. Delta 7, Jennifer, the life I've built. But also this, the work I used to do, the forests, the purpose. Maybe, I say. Let me talk to some people. She gives me a card. Contact information for the reconstruction committee. I drive back to Delta 7. Tell Jennifer about it, about the offer. What do you want to do? She asks. I don't know. Part of me wants to stay. Part of me wants to go back to the work. So do both. We could move, start over in Roseburg. You'd do that? Why not? Delta 7 doesn't need us like it used to. It's stable. And Roseburg needs people who know how to rebuild, how to make things work. I think about it for days. Talk to Tom, to the council. They understand. We leave Delta 7 3 months later. Jennifer and I, and Alex, who decides to come with us. We move to Roseburg, take jobs with the reconstruction effort. I become a ranger again, managing the forests, making sure they're protected, making sure they're used sustainably. Jennifer works in the school, teaching. Alex works construction, helping rebuild. It's hard work, but it's good work. Years pass. Roseburg grows. Other cities are reclaimed. Roads are repaired, power grids restored. The world is smaller now. Fewer people. But it's coming back. I'm 50 years old when they finally declare the outbreak over. The last confirmed infected was put down 2 years ago. They waited to be sure. There's a celebration. Across all the reclaimed territories, people gather, drink, dance. Remember? I don't go to the big celebration. Instead, I take Jennifer and we drive up into the mountains, to the old logging road, to the shelter. It's still there. The door is broken. Someone found it. Looted it, probably. But the structure is intact. The walls I built. The roof. We go inside. It's empty now. Everything gone. But it served its purpose. It kept me alive. Gave me time. Let me survive long enough to make it to something better. I close the door behind us when we leave. Lock it with a new lock I brought. Why? Jennifer asks. Because someone else might need it someday, and I want it to be here for them. We drive back down, to Roseburg, to our house, our life. That night I write in a journal. The first entry in years. My name is Paulson. I'm a forest ranger. I survived the outbreak. I survived the aftermath. And I helped build something new. This is my story. I'm writing it down so someone will know. So it won't be forgotten. I write for hours, filling pages, telling everything. From the beginning, from the ranger station, the journey, the shelter, Delta 7, all of it. When I'm done, I put the journal in a box, seal it, label it. For whoever comes after. Then I go to bed. Jennifer is already asleep. I lie next to her, close my eyes. Tomorrow there will be work, trees to manage, forests to protect, a world to rebuild. But tonight, I rest. I survived. Thanks for watching, guys. Consider subscribing this channel. I will be back with another story.